for more on the markets and what the latest vaccine developments could mean for investors. Allianz Chief Economic Advisor Mohamed El-Erian. Mohamed, it's good to see you this morning. The markets are taking off at least ahead of the open on both the reopening that took place over the weekend and just how visible that was, and on some of these hopes, optimism about a potential vaccine. You have, as we know, been urging caution for investors, and I just wonder on a morning like this whether you think caution is still the right approach.
Thanks, Andrew. Today is good news across the board, and I think it's important that I acknowledge it in two things in particular: the vaccine news, and the other one is that the reopening so far are proving to be relatively healthy. And importantly, if you look at the high-frequency data, people are engaging, households are engaging, business are engaging. So both on the health side and the economy side, you're getting good news. And the big hope is we sustain it. Now, the marketplace has embraced it. And what I like about this morning's pre-open action is that the risk on is across the board. It's not just stocks, it's other risk assets, it's fixed income, it's currencies, and it's commodities. So it's really good to see an across the board risk on tone, which we haven't had really for quite a while.
Well, let me ask you two questions. One is about what you were seeing in terms of some of the high frequency data coming across in terms of how the public is engaging with the economy. Do you look at that as pent-up demand, and I don't want to say a head fake, but pent-up demand from the past 2 months, and so you're seeing a lot of spending? Does that get sustained? You look at some of the examples in China, and it was this, I mean, you could argue there was a sustainment of things getting better, but clearly not as good as those first week and a half when people sort of ran out of their house to go buy stuff, and how do you think the market is going to think about that, and then layer on top the vaccine news and the timeline for that?
So first, when you reopen, you look at two things. One, are you reopening in a relatively healthy fashion? So you look at hospitalization, you look at infection. Now, there's a lag there, so we still got to wait for that data, but so far, it looks okay-ish. Some pickup in cases, but nothing dramatic, but let's keep an eye on that. The other question you ask is, how willing are people to engage? So you look at mobility data, you look at credit card data, you look at restaurant reservation data, you look at TSA data. You yourself just circulated a deal book email today with various indicators, and everybody is now looking at these, and they point to engagement. So the first thing you've got to ask is, can I reopen in a healthy fashion? And will people believe it? Will they overcome the human counterparty risk? Remember, this is not financial counterparty risk. This is human counterparty risk. Information failures. We don't know who has the infection or not, which leads to the second issue, which is vaccine. A vaccine is the best way to overcome this human counterparty risk. So the faster we get to a vaccine, the better. This is not going to be a smooth process. There's going to be ups and downs. But keep an eye both on the health side and on the engagement side. Right. And that will give you a very good sort of view as to where we're going.